on here. There we go. It's very nice. Okay, now we're live.
Yay!
So, I think. Okay, so hi, welcome to my team. Today I have you come in. If you miss anything, don't worry about it because I am recording the tomato upload to my channel with subtitles. So anyone who is deaf or hard of hearing or can't understand me, please don't worry about it. I will have a tomato version up for you in the next day or two. So today I have Samantha Harvey on my YouTube channel. So hi, welcome to the CPA. And today we are going to be talking a lot about the topic of permitting your disability. So if you might have any questions, leave them in the chat. But other than that, we'll be having an open-ended conversation. So do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I always love being able to share the mindset work that has shifted my life and that shifted so many others. My name is Samantha Harvey, and I am a mindset coach for women. And I'll give you just a little background about what my life looks like and why I do what I do. And then we'll get into this topic of forgiveness, your disability, and how to really truly live your best life regardless of your circumstances. So I am from a small town outside of Baltimore, Maryland, and I grew up in a divorced household with a single mom who worked her butt off trying to create a life for my sister and I. And I knew from a young age that I wanted to be a professional dancer. So by the time I got to college, I was very blessed and lucky to be able to dance professionally in New York. And I started dealing with, once I was in my professional career, I started dealing with auditions and being told no, and a lot of judgment, a lot of comparison, not feeling good enough in my body, not being the right size, the right shape, the right hair color, the right, insert whatever judgment you might have in an audition. And that was kind of the beginning of me starting to look at myself and go, oh, like, am I really living the life that I want to live? And then fast forward, I started teaching fitness, and I absolutely loved being able to support people in feeling better about themselves. That hour where they could feel strong, where they could feel empowered, was everything. But I also knew that there was more. It was more than just the physical capability. And so fast forward, I learned the power of mindset. So I woke up 2 weeks before my 30th birthday in a marriage that was not fulfilling me, that was a little unhealthy. I was depressed. I was in debt. I was isolated from friends. I really felt like my life had peaked. And through that, I was like, what's going to shift? Because I know the only way that my life will shift is if I do the work. And that's when I fell into personal development. I also dealt with some crazy body dysmorphia stuff after doing fitness competitions. So between auditioning in New York City and LA, between body competitions, and leaving my marriage, I really found the value of doing personal development. And that is all of that mindset work. And what that has led me to is realizing that we are so much more powerful than we realize, regardless of your age, your size, your shape, your disability, your circumstance, that we have so much more to give. And we have so much more to experience in life when we don't limit ourselves. And I think that one thing that I absolutely love is forgiveness work, because so much of what keeps us stuck is the stories that we tell ourselves. So stories of being not enough, stories of, not being smart enough, not being the body shape or size, not being an able body, not knowing enough people, not having enough money. All of these stories are not enoughness. And these stories are what really shape our lives. And when we are stuck in the story, then we're not truly living our authentic purpose. And one of the things that keeps us stuck is forgiveness. And I talk a lot about self-love in my coaching. So I should have said, at this point in my life, I'm now a coach for women. I do transformational coaching. I have a podcast called the Full Out Podcast. I love coaching and supporting women and inspiring people on my Instagram. It's just at Samantha Jo Harvey. And I talk a lot about self-love, talk a lot about self-esteem. And this is how we actually met. I was doing a masterclass on self-love and self-esteem. And we talked a lot about forgiveness. And that's where we really wanted to go today is talking about why forgiveness is so important. And if we think about where we get stuck in our lives, we think about shame, guilt, resentment. I like to say that those are like heavy rocks in a backpack that you're taking through life. And a lot of times we, especially in the disability world, I think that we get to forgive people around us, but most importantly, we get to forgive ourselves for our own judgments, forgive ourselves for our own limiting beliefs, forgive ourselves for every time that we spoke poorly about ourselves, we limited ourselves and held ourselves back from being and living our greatest lives. And shame, resentment, guilt, all of those heavy emotions are just that, they're heavy. So imagine going through life with this heavy backpack on your back. Life is going to be harder. But when we choose to go through life with a different mindset, things become easier. And so one thing that I really think is important is naming out all of the things that you are angry about, shameful about, you have guilt over, because the only person that is hurting is yourself. So even if you have feelings towards a parent, towards a loved one, towards a caretaker, towards girls that you grew up with, towards, whatever it is, those feelings end up acting like a poison inside of your body. And so one thing I love doing with my clients is taking them through a forgiveness exercise. So we're not going to do it right now, but this is something that you could do later, which is, I like to turn on some like meditative music, something that just kind of like gets me in the zone. And I really like to take stock of my emotions. Like I put one hand on my heart and one hand on my stomach or my womb space. And I take a couple deep breaths and keep your eyes closed and just inhale really nice and big, exhale it out, and get in tune with your spirit, with your heart, with the truth of who you are. And then ask yourself, what is it that I'm holding on to? What is it that I haven't let go of? What is keeping me small? What am I still angry about? What am I still sad about? What am I still feeling limited by? And really seeing what comes up for you, giving yourself a chance to feel the hard feelings. Because in today's society, when we talk about mindset, there's a lot of positivity and just think happy thoughts, and that's great. But if you're not addressing the negativity or the hurt or the shame or the guilt that's underneath, then we're not actually able to be positive. It's like slapping a sticker on something and being like, oh, look, it's rainbows and butterflies. But the truth is we've got to we've got to really look at what are the heavy feelings underneath, right? So when we look at those heavy feelings, we actually have to give ourselves permission to feel those things. So many people learn to shove down their feelings. Like women are taught, just smile and look pretty and act like everything's fine. A lot of men and boys are taught it's not manly to show emotion. And the truth is we have to experience the emotion to let it flow through us so that we can release it. So in this forgiveness exercise, when you're taking some deep breaths in, your eyes are closed, you're maybe listening to some meditative music, you're getting in touch with these feelings that need to be released. And one thing, if you're experiencing a lot of anger, what I think is so helpful is literally taking a pillow, because you know, if you live in an apartment or you live in a space with other people, you don't want to like scream loudly and have people be concerned for you, but literally screaming into a pillow, or if you drive a car, you're able to be in a car by yourself, even doing it there. And just, it's called primal screaming. And you literally like, you use your diaphragm, you use your gut, and you get out all of the anger by yelling into a pillow. And you can yell, just on like an ah sound, like ah, or you can actually yell words of getting out the anger. I'm angry at my mom. I'm angry at this. I'm angry at that. I'm mad at this. And what that does is it actually allows you to release the anger, release the frustration, release all of that. So that's like one way to get all of that energy out of your body. Another one, which is what I love doing, is writing yourself a forgiveness letter.
Right.
So I would
and
say,
we did that for
yeah.
BBS, and that really helped me. You might have been around on my channel about, you would know that some people walk out of my life because I'm disabled. Well, I don't know why, but
You don't know why.
I might think maybe it is because my disability is too much for them, which is totally fine. Sometimes disability aren't for all people, but I ended up writing that letter, and another thing, and which really helped. But another thing is, you're going through some type of bullying or mode of hating your disability, where I do. I'm not gonna lie, I do. But one day where I really want to do something, but I can't for transportation reasons or whatever it might be, I really have trouble. So another thing is, I'm a horseback riding and something that's my mindless work. It's not mindless, you're controlling the horse, but it is mindless because all I'm doing is thinking about my horse. And
Yeah.
so that really helps. So what I work out, what I draw, I really like to do art. I have 8 drawing books with multiple drawings in it. So that's another way. And then the finding hobby that works for you so that you don't think about your disability. Because it's easy to get wrapped up in your head when you have a disability with all the things you can't do. I did that for many, many years, and honestly, I don't think that was a really good decision for my health. So drawing, writing a semester letter, all that will help you, and then you can draw in the community as well.
Yeah. And I think that's such a good point is, you know, so many people focus on what they can't do. And when you focus on what you can do, it's like the saying, on what you focus on grows. If you're focusing on how everything's not working, how hard things are, how heavy things are, what's not working, like that's all negative, and that's going to expand. Or you shift the mindset into, okay, I might not be able to do this in the way that I want to, but what can I do? What is going to make me happy? What is going to light my soul on fire and make me have fun and feel joy and enjoy things? And I think that's the beautiful thing about the forgiveness letter is once you're able to kind of get that stuff out, it's important to get it out, because if we just said, just do something that makes you happy, you're not fully addressing every aspect of you. So this gives you permission to get the hard feelings out. And then like, once you're clean and clear, once that stuff is out of your backpack, then fill up the backpack with things that are going to make you feel alive. And I think you also bring up a good point about doing it in community and connection, because we as humans, we love and we require connection. And whether that's connection on a Zoom screen, on a YouTube screen, on Instagram, on Facebook, or even in real life, if you're able to do that, connection is everything. So it's being creative. And I always share this with my clients. What are the creative solutions that you can come up with? because things aren't going to, from the outside, we're used to a world where everything is filtered. Everyone's posting their highlight reels on social media, and we don't always see the challenges that people are experiencing. And so it's like, how do you not compare yourself? How do you release comparison? How do you release judgment of like, maybe I used to be able to do this, or that other person could do this and I can't. Release all of that and say, what is it that I want to create in my life? What is it that I want to feel in my life? So I like to have people focus on the feelings, not like I want to get married and have kids and have this much money. Like those are all things, but it's really about like, what do I want to feel? Do I want to feel happiness, joy, connection, love, laughter? Like, what are the things you want to feel? And then what do you get to create in order to feel those things? How do I feel those things now so that I then attract all of those things that will then come in versus like, I want to be horseback riding, but I can't. Well, what does horseback riding make you feel? Does that make you feel free? Does that make you have fun? Does that make you laugh? Does that make you feel in touch with nature? And how can you find a creative solution to experience the same feelings, even if it looks a little different than what you thought it needed to look like?
Right. And I know you have the mirror here pretty soon, but I learned like all my tongue went on the power, and that when my mic truly sang, and I was like, I have to keep myself steady, so that when I started doing all the activity and being interactive and being so if you are somebody that is disabled, my biggest tip for living your disability is get involved and take away. I know this meeting was short and not very detailed, but it had a lot of information. So I definitely think you can take away from whatever you are watching the video, leave it in the comments because I want to know what your biggest takeaway is from the conversation, and I will share it with Pam. And make sure you follow her as well and follow me because I just wanted to be out here because I couldn't really say all that you had because I never really think about these things. I know about my life, but I know somebody who is watching this will benefit from the conversation. So thank you, Pam, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it. And I think one last thing before I know, but like we're going to go in a second, but I would just invite everyone just to remember that, a lot of things in life are going to be out of your control, but the one thing that you can control is your mindset. That is the one thing that no one can take away from you. So surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up. And even if that's not people in life, that's podcasts. That's people that you follow on Instagram. Those are books. Those are the things that are going to remind you of who you are and the truth of who you are, which is you are a magical, you are kind, you are loved, like you are a human spirit. You are a miracle on this earth. And just remember that the one thing you can control is your mindset.
Right, and only if you might need somebody to talk to, I do my best to answer my DMs and comments and everything. Reach out to me if you need help, or reach out to the resources that I do provide. That's why I do what I do. Plus, I love to meet everyone in the community. So if you're watching this video, post my video, comment, like this video, subscribe if you're new, check out the description, and follow Pam, and I will see you back in my next video. Bye!
Thanks!
Yep, I'm in a hot movie morning and hot movie team. There we go. But yeah, thank you so much for being here.